I'm here with Dr. Sheila Kilbane. She's an integrative pediatrician from Charlotte, North Carolina, and she is here today to talk with us about eczema and the gut and how we can help our kids heal from their eczema by focusing on the gut. Dr. Kilbane, I cannot tell you how many doctors have told me personally that, oh, a skin issue can't possibly be related to food, even eczema. Why are you convinced otherwise?
So that's the way that I was trained also. And when you start practicing, when I was out of residency, I was giving steroids and treating the skin issues topically, and they weren't getting better. And at that point in time, I like to think I'm a good listener. And so moms would say to me, I changed the child's diet and their eczema resolved. And so I just started listening, and then I started studying. And then when you really dig into the research, you understand that anywhere from 1/3 to 2/3 of eczema for one skin condition in particular it can be driven by a food allergy or a food sensitivity. And the two big culprits are dairy and eggs. And it's not always dairy and eggs, but those just can be, and dairy even predominantly so. So it's in how that happens is that the dairy we eat it, it inflames the gut. And when our gut cells become inflamed, they start to come apart a little bit from one another. And then we start to absorb food proteins into our bloodstream that we shouldn't necessarily be absorbing. And those proteins in our bloodstream cause a cascade of inflammation. And that's where we start to see the rough, red, dry skin, the bumps on the back of the arms. We can even see dark circles under our eyes. So it's not only eczema, but it can lead to a lot of different things. But it's called leaky gut, and the medical term is a permeable intestine.
Yeah, so these signs on the outside that you just talked about, they're kind of like a beacon, like a cry for help that something is going on inside. And how easy and not very, expensive at all. Little bit of a challenge to cut dairy, but it's not expensive. It's not a huge risk. How long after, if a parent just says, you know what, my kid's eczema is so bad, like this is worth trying, dairy and eggs, cut. How long would it take for them to know if that was a good experiment?
Yeah, so for most kids in my experience, it can be even just a couple of weeks. I typically have families start with 3 to 4 weeks of pulling it completely, because if I said, this is a lifestyle, none of them would do it. But if we just say, do it for 3 to 4 weeks, and if you're seeing any improvement, then we're going to keep it up. And most of the time, if they're going to improve, you're going to be seeing significant improvements pretty quickly, even sooner than 2 weeks. But that's where we're going to start to see more of a profound improvement. Now, I have had kids with psoriasis and that they have improved, but it's taken more like 3 months. So it also depends on how long they've had the issue and which the issue is. Psoriasis is a little bit different than eczema, but so it can be pretty quick.
Yep, and it's not hard to Google pictures of psoriasis versus eczema and just kind of figure this out at home. Like, unfortunately, we do live in a world where food's not always connected to our medical care. And if you are passionate about that, as I am, home doctoring and being a detective with your own kids and figuring it out is really important. So we have lots and lots of dairy-free and egg-free resources, elimination diet resources here at Kitchen Stewardship. And I know that you can do this and kick this eczema in your children or in yourself. Thank you again, Dr. Kilbane.
Absolutely.